are the top Yu-Gi-Oh decks from Battles of Legends Monsters Mayhem. Big dogs, last week I made a video giving you everything you need to know about the Yu-Gi-Oh set, and it was, you tried. It kind of reminds me of my son playing football right now. He getting out there. He's trying. He is definitely not making me proud. He sucks. But today, big dog, you guys don't have to worry about that because through my anger, I'm going to be letting you know what are the best Yu-Gi-Oh strategies from this set. I don't want you picking up any singles, any boxes, any packs without you knowing what's the sauce all the way to battle yourself for a new Yu-Gi-Oh deck. Of course, big dog, if you love the content and you're looking for a way to support, well, you're in luck, brother. Go ahead and go to TheCaliEffect.com to pick up your mat today. I got it upside down, don't I? No, I don't? Let's go! Make sure you guys pick up your mats and also look out for some more important things because we got some special things going on. Let's go ahead and jump on in. What's going on with y'all big dogs? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. So the Battles of Legends Monsters Mayhem tier list. Of course, big dogs, we have a criteria. In this particular tier list, I wanted to go in depth for Battles of Legends. So I included every single Yu-Gi-Oh strategy that even got a modicum of support or reprints inside of this set. The reason why I did this is because I want you to be aware of those reprints and how important they are. I know a lot of players will open a pack and see new cards or maybe even a well sought after card that they really need for their deck. I know all of the time players will open a pack and see a card that's reprinted that was once expensive, thinking what is the competitive viability for these strategies, and in this video you're going to get the information you need. I also want you guys to be on point on how powerful these Yu-Gi-Oh strategies are and what is the potential of them getting stronger. I'll be mentioning that. Now, there is one really important thing that I want to tell you guys. Now, of course, big dogs, if there is a Yu-Gi-Oh strategy that you want to see on the next tier list, be sure to let me know down below in the comment section. It is incredibly important. And with that being said, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in and start off with Dragon Maid is actually a pretty good Yu-Gi-Oh deck, but it has one huge weakness, needing that many normal summons. Between Laundry Dragon Maid, Nurse Dragon Maid, Kitchen, Parlor, and Chamber Dragon Maid, this deck can play upwards to 15 normal summons. Holy crap, that's bad. And even when you take out the Dragon Maids that players don't play like Laundry and Nurse, 9 normal summons is still way too many normal summons for a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. The big problem with it is that this strategy also doesn't really have a way to be able to mitigate that by giving you additional summons or easy accessible ways to be able to get your cards to the side of the field, meaning that hand traps can really hurt. But on the flip side, the new support for Dragon Maid is insane. Dragon Maid Stern, bringing back any Dragon Maid from the graveyard or banishment, and Lady Dragon Maid being ridiculous, summoning Dragon Maids from your deck and allowing you to fusion summon. It can summon powerful cards like Shu, but also can double back and summon other monsters like Light and Darkness Dragon Lore. I personally think that the deck is really good. One of the biggest benefits for Dragon Maids is that it is a Dragon Yu-Gi-Oh deck, meaning it can take advantage of cards like the Bystials or the Light and Dark End Dragon package to help you extend a little bit further. There's also never a real safe point to hand trap against this deck, so it can always leave your opponent guessing if they're hitting the correct cards. I think the support puts it well enough in the right direction, but I don't think that it's strong enough to be battling some of the top contending Yu-Gi-Oh decks on a consistent level. Next, we're gonna talk about Branded, which got a pretty killer card. The new Dogmatic Calamity Alba system is a level 8 dragon monster that can only be fusion summoned by Fallen Albaz and 6 monsters with different names in your graveyard. It can attack all of your opponent's monsters, but you can't attack unless you send 1 card from your extra deck to the graveyard. And then if you have 6 or more fusion summon monsters in the graveyard, you can send all cards in both players' extra deck to the graveyard. Holy! If I'm being honest with you guys, I don't think that this is exactly what Branded needed. This feels like a win more type Yu-Gi-Oh card. I love its effects, I love its ease of summoning, but what Branded really needed is a little bit more power in the forms of main deck cards. Something that can get the combo going a little further instead of having to rely on a gimmick like gimmick puppet locking your opponent, or sending cards from their extra decks to the graveyards to attempt to win the game. Though I will give credit, 6 of any monsters could be particularly dangerous and can be fairly easy to summon when you have Lebellion the Searing Dragon that can just discard and fuse. I'm gonna put it in Mad Potential. The reason why I put it in Mad Potential is because Branded is still a really strong Yu-Gi-Oh deck, let's be honest. I think the deck is either waiting on more copies of Branded Fusion or another consistent fusion monster that it can use, which will eventually happen the way that things are shaping up. Now, this particular icon stands for Dino. I've seen a lot of Dino players debate on if they should be using the Dirac engine as an engine for Dinos to make the deck more explosive, or if it should be the other way around. My humble opinion on that. Yeah, no, dog. Dinos are trash right now. Let's just be honest. Brother, man, it pains me to say this because I have max rarity Dinos and it feels bad. But a pure dinosaur deck that's still using Animadorned Archosaur, double evolution bills, and baby Sarasaurus, you're not going anywhere. Brother, man, you're playing way too many bricks. You're adding more bricks on top of your bricks. And if we're being so honest, your combos are pretty bad. I'm sorry. As a Dino lover, I don't think this is it. But allow me to bring it back for you guys. Keep in mind, I said the deck has a lot of bricks, the ceiling gets stronger, but it doesn't really get better. I think that Diracs are actually the better version. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out. With the Dirac version, you are playing less bricks inside of your deck. And if you want to be a top tier contender, you have to play as little bricks as possible. Dirac also has a consistent 1-card combo, and while the ceiling is lower, that's perfectly fine. Being able to Nibiru your opponent 4 times in 1 turn is a pretty good ceiling. A lot of players get trapped on making bigger and better boards, and that could be good in some instances, but sometimes you gotta go with the low to the floor consistent mash that doesn't brick enough. That's what your big dog is thinking about Dinos right now. I still think that the deck can be really powerful. I just think that we're gonna have to consider switching to the more Dirac version for right now. We are missing that level 6 tuner though, so that might be a problem. Next is Fabled. Bro, I've seen Fabled combos, and you know what they remind me of? It reminds me of like 2011 Synchro decks when they got Hyper Librarian on the field. I mean, this deck does pretty much that. I've seen pure Fabled decks, and if I were to go off the pure, it's probably battle for a new deck. But if we're talking about the Fabled deck that actually just plays a Fiendsmith engine, because this deck is a natural go into Fiendsmith engine type deck, kind of like how Live Twin is, I actually would think that it has a little bit of potential. Now, I want to say not everything is peaches and roses with this Fabled Fiendsmith deck. Half of the monsters are light beast monsters. You need to keep that in mind. And Fabled Swarm Liverzabel, which is kind of cool. In case you guys didn't know, it's a play on the Evil Swarm cards in Bezel, I can't even say the name right now. That being your best card is like, it's good, but you gotta see it in practice, right? I think Mad Potential is where the deck should be at. It does have the attributes, pun intended, but I'm not 100% sure how the deck deals with, I don't know, Nibiru without just completely going Fiendsmith. Now, this is representative of Fairy Tale. The Fairy Tale monsters consist of Wonko the Noble Knight Forest, which is a Noble Knight card, Bat the Forest Ninja, which is a ninja card, and Fairy Tale Prologue Journey's Dawn. Now look, guys, I would break down these cards, but I think the best thing to break down is don't read them. It's not good. I think Konami put this archetype in here just so they could say that ninjas get support and Noble Knights get support, but it's not support for either of those guys. Don't fall for it. Next, we have the Fiendish Engine Omega deck, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm messing with it. Fiendish Engine Omega deck is basically built off of summoning tokens to your side of the field. Now look, can I beat TJ with this deck? Maybe. Is it actually good? No, it's terrible. It's ridiculously bad. The new monster, Motor Kaiser, might be better used for decks like Orcust or something like that, because it does allow you to be able to normal summon a Dark Machine monster. There's also 2-for-1 Repair Job, which allows you to be able to get into more Dark Machines, but as far as Fiendish Engine Omega, brother, stop. Gym Knights have the opportunity to be one of the best decks in the game. If 2 of the Gym Knight cards didn't say, during the main phase, all damage your opponent takes is half. In case you guys didn't know, when Gym Knight is at its absolute best, it's an FTK Yu-Gi-Oh deck that feels like it can't be stopped. At its worst, It's like, okay, man, look, man, imagine if you had a son, if you don't have a son, and imagine he says, yeah, daddy, I want to play football. And he runs out there with his helmet backwards and his cleats on wrong. You're like, you know what? You try. Didn't happen to my son. Couldn't say that. I'd never say that happened to my son. No, he would never do that. I think that Gym Knight is, it's actually okay. Like my son, there is a ton of baller potential. It's just gonna need a couple of more things to be able to fix it. I mean, what? Gym Knight Hollow Core may not seem like a great card, but it actually gives you Nibiru protection, which is pretty good. And then there's Gym Knight Nephrium, which I think is an amazing card. Overall, the deck does have the utility and gems to be able to make itself a way better deck than it ever has been. And with the potential to actually be a competing Yu-Gi-Oh deck, I think it's there. Now, in case you guys were wondering if Heraldic were cards that were worth it, I would say yes. Heraldic as a pure Yu-Gi-Oh deck isn't necessarily as good, but Raizio cards are also ridiculously cheap. Heraldic Raizio is one of the stronger decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! So if you guys are picking up those Heraldic cards and you're like, huh, these are some shiny little pieces. Yes, they actually are a pretty good Yu-Gi-Oh deck when used alongside of Raizio. Ice Barriers, my boy. Now, on surface thought, Ice Barriers didn't get a single piece of support, which makes you wonder, Cali, what are you doing? But Ice Doll is low-key everything that Ice Barriers have needed. All right, so check this out, big dogs. Not only is this card a free summon to help you extend for your water plays, it also searches water spellcaster monsters from your deck to your hand. It's almost like there's a water spellcaster monster that this deck needs to be able to start its combos, huh? There's actually plenty of pretty cool one-card combos with Ice Doll that actually allows the deck to take it a step further. I don't think that it's really good just yet, but I'm gonna put it as another strategy with mad potential. Ice Barriers could very much be a deck that moves to the really good range, possibly even the battle in the meta. Keep in mind, pre-support for Ice Barrier, it actually did receive some tops, though at a regional, there's still tops. Next is Gravekeeper. This is the prime reason why I made this tier list the way it is, because Gravekeeper's Recruiter did get reprinted. Brother man, that's not that's not it, dog. If you play Gravekeepers in 2025 right now, either A, you are a genius and you have figured the meta out, or B, more than likely, somebody tricked you. I'm so sorry, Unc. I gotta tell you, man, do not play Gravekeepers in 2025. It's not working. Necrelli, maybe. Gravekeepers, heck no. Nekros got some incredible support cards. Avance, Swordsman of the Nekros, allows you to be able to special summon a Nekros monster from the deck. Amelia, which is probably going to be the card that you're going to summon, allows you to add Nekros ritual monsters or Nekros spell cards to your hand. Yo, this deck can finally pretty much one card combo, and Advance is searchable through Ice Doll! Alright, so genuinely, I think that this is a mad potential Yu-Gi-Oh deck. My biggest problem with Nekros is that this deck still does not have a strong going first board. If for some reason you think that Nekros Unicorn on field, oh my god, don't do it. Don't do it! When a Nekros Valkyrie is in hand is the ultimate combo. Brother, that's a worse Maguska, but I got some oceanfront property in Kansas to sell you if you think that's it. I don't know, since the deck doesn't use the extra deck much, maybe a Fiendsmith Nekros? Maybe a Voiceless Voice Nekros? I'm not sure, but I do see the potential for this deck. It's really, really good at board breaking. Orcust got two new support cards as well. One is the Galatea Eye, which allows you to be able to add any World Legacy or be able to add Orchestrated Babel from your deck or graveyard to your hand. It can also summon itself from the graveyard, which is really cool because the card keeps coming back. The next is the Link 4 monster, which literally is a walking change of heart, except you're not getting it back. By the way, I have no idea why I know off the top what these cards do. There is no confirmed duel challenge playing Nekros at all. Nope. Don't you see my face? Not gonna happen. Nah, brother man, if I'm gonna be honest, this deck is definitely one of the top tier Yu-Gi-Oh decks. I think what makes Orcust really strong here is that Orchestrated Battle makes them all quick effects. I want you to think about those effects that I just said. Special summon from the graveyard, search cards, take your opponent's monsters. They're quick effects. Alongside of all of the other Orcust monsters, this deck actually does have potential to be one of the strongest decks in the game. I mean, we talked about it in yesterday's video. Were you watching? Pay attention. DDD Oh my god. Different dimension demon, but I'm pretty sure D stand for something else in your household. I don't know. DDD received some new support cards, but if I'm being honest with you guys, it's definitely gonna need help. Not in the Duelist Advanced set we are getting, I believe, in about a month or so. The set afterward actually has some crazy good DDD support. Those cards make the deck so much stronger, and it's ridiculous that they didn't give it to us in Battles of Legends, because man, I'ma beat DD and D and everybody, girl. Majestice got some new cards, but if I'm being honest with you guys, without Majestice Spoon, what are we doing here? Some of these Yu-Gi-Oh strategies got support, and we're just waiting for the other end of support for the decks to be good. It's definitely DDD and Majestice. Those are those decks I'm talking about. Now, in case you were wondering about Primite, in case you pulled Primite cards out of your Battles of Legends set and you're wondering if it's still worth it, the answer is very much yes. Whether you're using Primite for your Blue Eyes deck or Primite as a Bestial or Fiendsmith deck, this little engine is still incredibly strong. Definitely worth the pickup, though I will give you a warning. It's possible that these cards get reprinted again in the next year's Megatens, or in this year's Megatens. I'm not 100% sure. Jam Fever! Punk is actually crazy. A new Xyz monster that can negate card activations, and a main deck monster that summons from the deck? Yo, he was cooking. I think Punk does have a problem, like Droll and stuff like that, but overall, I'm gonna put it in really, really good. I think the deck's incredibly solid. Punk does have all of the features to be a battling the meta type Yu-Gi-Oh deck. The only thing that I fear for it is that it's a little bit more fragile to some of the cards currently being played, like Droll, Marcharmy, and a couple of other cards, than some of the other strategies that I have in actual battling the meta. Now, in case you guys are wondering, Scrap did technically get support, the Trap card. It really is Fiendish Engine Omega support, but it does have a graveyard effect to help Scrap cards, help them scrap for a new deck. This is what I mean about the sneaky things Konami does. The ninja support, the Noble Knight support, the ninja support. We need ninja support. I don't want you guys to fall for those traps. Now, Dragon Ruler actually did receive some good support, and it topped not only a Nationals, it also topped a Regionals. A couple of them, I believe. I would put this still in need some help. Dragon Rulers don't really have a consistent game plan. Whether it's you summoning Quackamiru, Dragon, Arclor, Christia, or just summoning the Dragon Rulers and praying for the best, I don't think it's effective because the cards that it requires you to be able to do that. It's a sunken cost, but not a good enough return, at least when you compare it to some of the other decks. Now, this can turn around with some better Dragon or Dragon Ruler support. Blue Eyes, White Dragon. In case you guys are wondering if you should build Blue Eyes because you pulled the Blue Eyes Chibi or you got the Primite cards, 100% yes. This deck is probably the cheapest, strongest deck in Yu-Gi-Oh right now, especially if you got these cards at a good rate. 1000% I would suggest if you're getting into the game, Blue Eyes is your man. Outside of your Primite engine, 3 structure decks, some hand traps or whatever, you're good to go. True Draco. Ah, yes. They've reprinted everything except for Ignis, the True Draco Heat, and Dragonic Diagram. They even gave you Masterpiece, even though it's limited. I'm gonna let you guys know right now, if True Draco were at full power right now, no. But considering that this is a random reprint, I think True Draco is going to get some support later on in the future. I'm gonna put it in needs help. Now, what exactly does True Draco need? Well, it's either gonna need a searchable Floodgate with Diagram and Masterpiece at 3, or a couple of new True Draco monsters that help the strategy in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Unchained got a random Unchained Soul Shavara reprint, the Link 3, crazy. I think it's really good. I wouldn't say that this is a deck that is like a meta banger, but it's a solid Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategy just like Yubel. These two Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategies are normally neck and neck. The biggest problem you're gonna have to deal with these decks is the Molcharmy cards, but outside of that, you're okay. And Galaxy got fake tough guy support. I actually thought that the Galaxy spell card that allowed you to be able to special summon from the Banish Zone was okay. And then they got another spell card that allowed them to be able to turn a dragon monster into another Xyz. I'm not a big fan of the new S38 Titanic, but I can't just I think it's right here. Galaxy in my head is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategy that can be a lot better than what is being suggested. And maybe those spell cards really helps the deck a lot, which is why I'm putting it in mad potential. Overall though, this is my tier list for best decks post Battles of Legends Monster Mayhem. I want you guys to let me know what you think about it down below in the comment section. Of course, if there was anything that I missed, go ahead and let me know as well. And be sure, buy your mats, TheCaliEffect.com. I'll catch you on the next one. Check out these videos.